Hey pretties, happy Friday. Welcome to Coffee Chat. If you're new around here, every Friday morning I do a little chat on a topic of the week. And it ranges for everything from like hormones to makeup and everything in between. So I'm excited this week because I'm going to be revisiting a topic that was really popular back in September. And it's one of those things I feel like is not a one and done thing. It's something that we need a lot of reminders about. And I have a little resource I'm going to share with you today too, so I'm excited about that. But first off, it's Friday. Yay, we made it. Craig had a birthday yesterday, but he had a weekday birthday, which I think those are always hard to celebrate. So we're going to wait till tomorrow night and go out to dinner, and Aubrey's going to be home from school. So I'm excited about that. But that's really about all we've got on deck for the weekend, besides getting caught up on everything around the house, laundry, and the kitchen floor is always covered in dog hair. So we'll need to take care of that. But we did get a new Roomba. I'm so excited. We got a new Roomba this week. Our old one has been on the fritz for months, and we've been ordering replacement parts, and we've had it for, I want to say, at least 4 years now. So it's had a pretty good run. It needs some maintenance. It's not doing as good a job as it used to do. So I went ahead and replaced it this week, and the new one is amazing. It works so much better. So we're going to get that set up and ready to go. And then hopefully move the old Roomba to another part of the house that doesn't get as much dog hair. So anyway, all right, so to the topic of today, we're going to be talking again about falling into ruts. And I feel like January is a really good time of the year to talk about this, because for me personally, I start out super strong, and the first of the year rolls around. I feel like I'm ready to conquer my goals. I'm on fire for the new year. I set a bunch of goals, make a bunch of resolutions, and then most of us just kind of by week 3, week 4, we start to lose steam, and we start to kind of fall back into the old habits again. And then the funny thing that happens is that a lot of times when we fall back into those bad habits, it's kind of a hit to our confidence, and we feel like, we can't get started again. So hopefully what I'm going to share with you today is going to help you to kickstart back into the routine. I like to say that the power's in the present moment, because if you put it off till tomorrow, it may never happen. Start today. And if you feel like you're starting to fall back into a rut, we're going to talk about some warning signs and some ways that you can quickly get out of that. So first off, though, I just want to share the abbreviated version of my story. A lot of you have been around for a while, some are brand new, but I started Get Your Pretty On because I fell into my own rut 6 years ago in 2012. I was working from home for a few years, and I had lost all accountability for getting dressed and for putting on makeup and for fixing my hair. And I no longer went into an office, so I didn't have anybody telling me I had to do those things. So that was sort of the start of my spiral into my rut, but it snowballed into lots of other areas of my life, because back then I wasn't able to recognize the warning signs that I was starting to get into the rut. So Get Your Pretty On started as my accountability partner, really. It was my way of holding myself accountable for getting dressed every day, and it was like that one tangible thing that I could hold on to, that I knew if I changed this one thing that it was going to help me feel better. And a lot of times, I've talked about motivation before. We wait for motivation before taking action, but oftentimes if you're waiting for motivation, it's never going to show up. You have to take action first. And getting dressed every day was a way for me to take action first, and then the feelings came after that. I started feeling better about myself, getting my confidence back, making self-care a priority again. So I think it's just really important for us to reevaluate ourselves several times throughout the year and notice when we're starting to kind of slowly get into that spiral again. Look for the red flags, look for the warning signs, so that we can stop from getting as deep into the rut as we may have gotten in the past. And really, that's been my goal ever since then. It is not a one and done thing. It's something I work on constantly. I may have a few really good months where I'm just firing on all cylinders, and then life happens, things get in the way. I think some of mine is hormonally related. As I get older, I start to fall into these ruts, when I'm not feeling that great about myself. But there are a lot of things that can trigger them, and there may not even be any trigger at all. It's just a matter of a snowball effect happening in your life. So we're going to talk a little bit about some of those warning signs. I've got a free resource to share with you today. I hope you guys will sign up for it. I'm going to be going through this worksheet. It's called the Do Good Feel Good worksheet, and you can download it at getyourprettyon.com/dogoodfeelgood. You can save it on your phone. If you don't need it right now, save it on your laptop, wherever, print it out, put it to the side. If you don't feel like it's relevant right now, then you'll have it for later on. But I'm going to go through this with you today because I think it's a really powerful exercise. Even if you feel like you're starting to see a few of these signs, then this worksheet will hopefully get you back on track again. So, again, we tend to lose steam after the new year. And for me personally, I usually struggle through the end of January and the first half of February for some reason. I think it's just like the middle of winter, and we're indoors a lot, and there's so many other factors involved in that, and it's just really hard to stay on track for me personally during this time of the year. But we can definitely take some actions right now that are going to help with this. So I'm going to go ahead and go through my Do Good Feel Good worksheet. Again, you can download this at getyourprettyon.com/dogoodfeelgood. And I will share with you some of the things that work for me, and they might work for you too. All right, so the first things first, we're going to be looking for the warning signs. So some of the warning signs that you might be getting into a funk or a rut could include a messy house, like dirty dishes piling up, laundry piling up, not making the bed. A lot of women experience, self-care fails. Yesterday I was cleaning out the refrigerator and I threw away all my healthy produce that had gone bad. I talked about doing this before. That's always a sign for me because I know that I'm not eating that stuff. I'm just buying it and it's going in the crisper and then it's rotting. And I had to throw away 3 overripe avocados yesterday, which hurt my heart. It's a travesty to throw away an avocado, but it happens. So, maybe that's one of your signs, or maybe it's reaching for junk food instead of, having a healthier snack, or processed foods, or maybe you stop doing healthy meal prep, or you could be drinking too much coffee, caffeinating a little too much. That's definitely another sign. Not exercising, not moving your body, even if it's something as simple as getting out for a 10-minute walk every day, just doing something that is movement related, or not doing your hair or makeup or getting dressed, which is one of my big warning signs. Whenever I go through a full day and I've not showered or changed out of my yoga clothes that I start every morning with, that's usually a pretty big sign for me personally, but it might be one of your warning signs too. So the first thing you're going to do is I want you to list out any of the warning signs that you get when you start to fall into a rut. And this is going to help you not only now, if in case you're already in the rut. I mean, it'll be super obvious and super easy to identify these things, but then in the future, when you see one of these things, you have awareness, and awareness is really key to this whole thing. And you can choose one small thing from your own list of warning signs that you can change or start making better today. Again, this is the powers in the present moment. Don't put it off till Monday. Don't put it off till tomorrow or next year or next month or whenever. Take action now. You're going to feel better immediately if you do that. So I want you to first identify what the warning signs are. And then secondly, I want you to tell me one small thing that you can take action on to help you feel better today. All right, so next up, this is a 2-part process. The next thing that you're going to do is you're going to fill your tank. So having a go-to list of things that you can do that fuel your energy, that recharge you, bring you mental peace, or make you feel like the best version of yourself. This is what comes in super handy when you're stuck in a rut. So it's not just about seeing the warning signs, it's about doing some things that are going to make you feel better too. As a caretaker, provider, spouse, or parent, we tend to give those around us we give to them constantly, and we don't fill up our own tanks. And it is so important. It's not selfish to fill up your own tank. Being the best version of yourself allows you to be the best version of yourself for others too. So, think of it in that way. But we do need to make a conscious effort to refill our personal tanks so we can continue to help those around us. So here are some examples of some things that I do to fill my own tank. And I call this my do good, feel good list. I like to keep this handy somewhere where I can see it. Again, in this printable at getyourprettyon.com/do good, feel good. You'll be able to list all of these things out, and you'll see all of my examples listed here as well. So this will give you some ideas in case you're struggling with this. So in the self-care department, drinking water is huge. For me, drinking water is one of those things that signals to my mind and body that we're getting back on track. We're doing this right now. And it's something you can do immediately. You can always grab a bottle of water or a glass of water and say, okay, I'm going to start hydrating. And this can kickstart so many other healthy habits, but I highly, highly recommend putting this one on your list. Another one is eating whole foods. Again, when I'm in a rut, I tend to reach for the processed foods, the easy stuff that I can just grab. But eating whole foods is another way of self-care and taking good care of your body. Working out, journaling your feelings. I've kept a prayer journal for over 10 years. I have over 2 million words in my prayer journal, but I look forward to starting my day with this ritual of sitting down and journaling, and just it's so good for my mental health to be able to do that, and it helps to fill my tank. Getting enough rest. Ask yourself if you're getting your 8 hours of sleep every night. If you're not, maybe you need to go to bed earlier and adjust your sleep schedule a little bit. Getting a massage, it's another great self-care ritual. Planting flowers or working in the garden, that one always works well for me. I love to do that. This time of the year, it's a little hard, but in the spring and summer months, I enjoy doing that a lot. Reading an uplifting book, download something onto your phone. Maybe it's a daily devotional or a meditation or something like that. Listening to music, yes, that's always a great idea and will fill your tank. Decorating your home or crafting. If there's something you've been wanting to try, go to Michael's, go to the Hobby Lobby craft store and pick something out that you want to try. There's something very therapeutic and very tank filling about creating things. Taking a walk outside, being in nature, or being out in the sun is always a good idea and always uplifts your mood. As far as relationships are concerned, one of my warning signs that I didn't mention before when I'm starting to get into a rut is I tend to close myself off, which is totally counterintuitive. If I'm not making phone calls to my parents or my sisters, that's usually a warning sign for me that I'm in a rut, because I don't reach out. When the funny thing about that is that I know the best thing for me is to do that. So making a date with myself, putting it in my calendar that I'm going to call my parents tonight at 5 p.m. or I'm going to get in touch with my sisters. That helps to fill my tank, and I always feel better when I get off the phone with them. Planning a surprise for someone you love. And yes, this is a way to fill your own tank. Doing for others does amazing things for your mental health. So planning a surprise is always a fun way to do that. Write a thank you note to someone who has made a difference in your life. In the spiritual realm, going to church, setting aside time for prayer. I talked about my prayer journal. I start out my morning every morning doing my devotions and my prayer journaling. This is a ritual that kicks my day off the right way. Whenever I get out of my routine, or I'm starting to get into a rut or a funk, this may be one of the things that falls by the wayside, and I know that I need to get back on track by doing this again. And of course, reading a daily devotional I've listed on here too. So I want you to spend some time thinking about the things that you can do that make you feel better. What fuels you? What fills your tank? What makes you feel whole? And what brings you mental peace? And then I want you to create a list of those things and keep that handy, because this is what's going to really help you. Again, if you're in a really good mental space right now, you're not in a rut, you're not in a funk, then that's great too, because this is a good time for you to really think about the things that fill your tank and list those out, because this will make it so much easier for you when you do start to see the warning signs and you can pull this out and have it handy. So, and again, I want you to choose one of the things from this list that you can do today to start feeling better right now. And think about what it's going to take to make that happen, and put it in your calendar. Plan it. All right, so the third part of this is called the stop and avoid phase. And in the worksheet, you're going to see that the flip side of do good, feel good is identifying things that we need to stop doing and avoid. So these aren't things that you are going to necessarily ignore forever, but they might be things that you can postpone until you're in a more stable headspace to tackle them a little bit better. Again, you can download this worksheet. I keep mentioning this. I want you guys to get your copy of it so you can fill it out as well. And it's going to be at getyourprettyon.com/dogoodfeelgood. So there are two that tend to be at the top of my list that I'm going to share with you today. So the first one that I need to cut back on and step back from whenever I'm in a rut or starting to go into a funk is social media. I know this is a tricky area for so many of us. And not only is it a time suck, but it can be a huge mental and emotional drain on our energy. So, it's far too easy to get lost in photos and updates. And you might be looking at other people and thinking, oh my gosh, she has the perfect life and she has it so together and her kids are perfect. Or, that person's getting more opportunities than me, or they're more successful than me. And just getting into that space, comparison is the thief of joy. It is so true. Maybe you need to step back from that. Maybe you need to unfollow some accounts that aren't healthy for you. It's okay to put boundaries around that. It's okay to not check in on social media in all your spare time. I just recently took a complete social media fast, and I noticed my anxiety level went down significantly from that. So do what you need to do. And I'm still, just really monitoring and measuring my time spent on social media. I have it down to about 15 minutes a day, and I'm perfectly okay with that. So, maybe that's an area that you need to consider too. My second big area is negativity. I make it a point of avoiding negative people and situations when I'm not in my peak mental performance space. So if you've got energy vampires in your life, we all know who they are. This would be a great time to avoid them. And you can protect yourself. There's no guilt in that. Step back, step away from those situations. When I'm in a rut, I do my best to avoid or just really set good boundaries around being in negative situations or around negative people until I'm in a mental state where I can deal with that. And you know what? Sometimes it's okay to admit that maybe there's a friend in your life or an acquaintance that you just really need to step away from, but for a longer period of time. It's really okay to do that. So I want you to also list out some things that you need to stop and or avoid until you're in a better headspace to handle them more effectively. And I want you to list those out on this worksheet as well. And again, we're going to look at one thing you can stop or avoid today. And again, just this powers in the present moment thing, something that can help you feel better right now. All right, so again, you can download the worksheet at getyourprettyon.com/dogoodfeelgood. And I'm going to share with you really quickly, I'm going to be starting a 28-day life coaching challenge in February. It's totally free for the community. If you guys want to sign up, we'll be discussing it on Daily Coffee Chat. So it's going to be fun. We're going to do it February 1st through the 28th. Hence the 28 days. And this is a life coaching challenge. So I am a certified professional life coach. I practiced individually with clients for several years, and that's how I created this challenge. So it's been around for about 4 years. It used to be a challenge that people in the community paid for. We've also offered it as a free bonus for signing up for the 2019 annual membership. So if you've already done that, then you're already enrolled and you don't need to do anything else. But if you're interested in this, you can get on the list for it at getyourprettyon.com/newyouyou. And we are going to have daily videos, PDF downloads. It hits seriously every area of your life. And these are the most effective exercises that my clients reported back in the life coaching sessions that helped them the most. We're going to hit self-care, relationships, health and wellness, you name it. We're going to set goals for the year. Again, this is something that's not a one and done thing. Our community tends to do it a couple times a year. I'd love to do it in February and September every year just to kind of hit the restart button. So if you're interested in this, you can sign up, getyourprettyon.com/newyouyou. We'll be starting on February 1st. I'll share some more information about it in the coming weeks, but I would love to have you join me and get involved in the discussions that we're going to be doing on Coffee Chats as well for that. So thank you so much for joining me today. I hope you guys have an awesome weekend. If you liked the Do Good Feel Good worksheet, then I hope you'll share this video with your friends, and I will see you guys back here next Friday. Bye.